Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Tuesday, February 1st. It's the first of the month. Yay! I want to welcome you to the show, and we are here live on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. By the way, my Twitter handle is @LarrySteinhouse, and you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and other social media by searching Larry Steinhouse. Just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can comment live during the show on all of those channels, and please say hi so I know you're watching. Hey Jane, hey Joe, thanks so much for watching. By the way, if you're commenting from a group and it is not the Money Chat Now fan page, your name may not show up my dashboard, so please go to the Money Chat Now page and comment there so I can recognize you. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. And now's the time to learn. You definitely want to go there. Go to investorschooling.com. All right, on today's show, we'll be discussing, of course, the futures update, the continuing saga of the Russia-Ukraine war. The Big Johnson is in the news again. We're going to be talking about student loans and this game called Wordle, and we're talking about Boeing and ticket prices. All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about the futures update. All right. Hey, I don't know. What do you think? You think the wild ride is over? I don't know. It might be. It might not be. We're going to find out. But it was a great day yesterday. But remember, the Dow started off down again about 100 points, and even though it ended up almost 400 points up. The NASDAQ has been in quite a tear, and it was also up 440 points. It amazes me that the NASDAQ moves up these numbers. Honestly, these are the days you want to celebrate if you took advantage of last week's dips. You know, I did a little bit, but frankly, I was out of money and I couldn't go in any stronger. That was part of the problem. Part of the problem is you keep buying the dips and it keeps dipping more and you run out of money. But I got lucky. I bought a couple of good ones. You know, I have to say also that energy stocks rallied yesterday, and even Tesla was up over 10%. Meta was up over 11 points at one moment. It's amazing. Apple is back into the 175 range, and even Coinbase is at 190 again. I had to sell that last week because I had a margin call on it, and of course I sold it at 170, and I'm so annoyed that I gave up all that money because of a margin call. Anyway, we came off a crazy month and a crazy 2 weeks. I don't know. You think it might continue? Well, I'm watching very carefully because history shows us that a bear market likes good Mondays and crashes during the week. So today may finish a bit down because of the great 2 days that we had in a row. It's kind of like the opposite of a dead cat bounce, so we may not have a clear indication until Wednesday. We also have some notable earnings today, such as Google, Starbucks, PayPal, GM, Exxon, and UPS. It's going to be quite a day as investors react to these earnings announcements. And of course, right now, the futures are sitting there at about, so the Dow is down 65. I actually saw it go positive for a minute earlier. The S&P is down 8.75, and now the NASDAQ is positive, above 6 points up. So that's not bad. All right. I also want to say hello to Tommy and Mike and Charles. Thanks so much. Hey, the guys are so happy that they could see my face again. We had some camera problems yesterday, and these guys are saying hi. All right. All right, let's talk about Russia-Ukraine and what's going on there. Here are some interesting updates about the Russia-Ukraine situation. As you know, Russia is probably going to invade Ukraine, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's this week. We can also surmise that it will be quick and painless for both countries. My guess is Ukraine will just submit and avoid the needless deaths of its soldiers. Of course, we know that brain-dead Biden will do nothing, and frankly, he really can't anyway. The sanctions will be more of a burden to the United States than they really will be to Russia, and Russia is very prepared for the sanctions. But here are some interesting things that have occurred recently. So first of all, Secretary of State Antony Blinken sent word to the Kremlin about the situation, and of course, in the letter to Putin, Blinken mentions both sanctions as well as an offer for diplomatic path to end this standoff peacefully. It is interesting to note that Russia has repeatedly denied it is actually planning to invade Ukraine, despite having amassed around 100,000 troops and military hardware at various points along its border with Ukraine. Tensions have been high with the neighbor since 2014, when it invaded and annexed Crimea. It has also supported pro-Russia uprising in eastern Ukraine, provoking low-level fighting between separatists and Ukrainian troops over it ever since. So Putin has said Russia can place its troops wherever it likes on the territory, and Russia has accused the West of stoking hostilities and hysteria in the region. And actually, both the president of Russia and Ukraine have said, calm down, United States, we got this under control. Who knows? So maybe it's all a hoax. I never really thought of that, but who knows? It may be, right? Remember that the U.S. wanted to include Ukraine in NATO, and Russia said that if we don't allow it, they will keep their promise to not invade Ukraine. So if the United States doesn't allow Ukraine in NATO, Russia won't invade them. It's bizarre. Anyway, so far that promise has been kept on both sides. So here we are. We have Ukraine wanting help, we have Russia denying that they will attack, and we have weak leadership in the United States to defend Ukraine. I personally think this is going to end in a diplomatic takeover of Ukraine with very little bloodshed. Russia is strong, the U.S. is too weak, and the Ukrainian people won't want to die. By the way, I got to tell you this, it's amazing. Germany, who is Russia's puppet because Russia sells them 40% of their oil used by Germany, actually had the nerve to offer Ukraine, you ready? 5,000 helmets to help their soldiers. Really? Helmets? Let me ask, Germany, are these the helmets that have the spike on them that you have left over in museums that you don't know what to do with anymore? Ugh. I don't really, is that a big help? And will it, frankly, it's so insulting to Ukraine that it's just amazing. Some Ukrainian officials responded with calling the offer a joke and said that it left them speechless. It left everyone speechless. The behavior of German government leaves me speechless. The defense ministry apparently hasn't realized that we're confronted with the perfectly equipped Russian forces that can start another invasion of Ukraine at any time, said Kiev's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, whatever his name, to a German newspaper. So he actually went to the German newspaper and said, hey, you guys are jerks, cut it out. What kind of support will Germany send next, he asked. Pillows? It's kind of like a bad comedy movie when you watch the interaction between the countries. Well, as I've said before, within the next 2 weeks, we will have the answer, whether it's war or diplomacy, but Ukraine will definitely be Russia's bitch either way. And it also appears that Wall Street has picked the stocks they will feel from benefiting from the invasion. Yes, there really is an article on that. I found an article this morning that said, these are the picks that will benefit from the Russia-Ukraine invasion. Look it up. Anyway, Bank of America Global Emerging Market Strategist last week suggested that while a further escalation is not a baseline scenario, it is important for markets to factor in and would likely lead to a knee-jerk risk-off. I was so careful the way I said that. Anyway, with a particular focus on volatility in commodities. The article talks specifically about some stocks, but the gist of the article is energy and mining material stocks are the Wall Street bet when it comes to invasion. By the way, this may be another reason why all the energy stocks have been rising in the last few days. So take a look at that too. All right. Hey, I want to say hello to Dan. Hey, Dan, thanks for watching. I solely appreciate you. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Lewis. And, of course, thanks, Mick. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. Somebody's got a good comment up there. I got to see it. Oh, you guys are talking about each other. You guys are talking about each other to each other. Anyway, all right, let's talk about the Big Johnson. Hey, do you remember last week when I called Boris Johnson a Big Johnson for attending a party with over 100 people while he locked down the peasants of the UK? What a Big Johnson he was. Well, it appears that the Big Johnson is in the news again as the report on the Big Johnson's Big Johnson party attendance, which was during those lockdowns, has been released. All right, an investigation into the Big Johnson's attendance was delivered in a report and published on the country's website. The incident, which is named Partygate, I tell you what, you know, it's amazing to me that they keep using that gate thing. Anyway, it was named Partygate, was condemned, and they condemned the Partygate incident in a 12-page report and had the following conclusions. There were failures of leadership and judgment by different parts of number 10 and cabinet office at different times, and some of the behavior was difficult to justify. It also found that the excessive consumption of alcohol was not appropriate in a professional workplace at any time. So that means you guys in the government over there don't get caught drinking anymore. And some staff had wanted to raise concerns about the behavior before they witnessed this, but they were unable to do it. Really? So some of the staff said, I knew I shouldn't have done that, so I'm going to say that I wish I would have said something about it, but I enjoyed myself anyway. The Big Johnson has resisted calls to resign and actually apologized for the first incident and made these remarks. Firstly, I want to say I'm sorry, Johnson said on Monday afternoon. I'm sorry for the things we simply didn't get right, and I'm sorry for the way this matter has been handled. And most of all, I'm sorry I didn't drink too much. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I missed that one. All right, anyway, if you remember, Johnson ended all the lockdowns, masks, and vaccine requirements a few days after this story was released into the press. This, of course, was done to make the people of the UK happy with his leadership. He faces a lot of scrutiny, and I wish this would happen to the bigger Johnson we have in the White House, so maybe we can get these mandates overturned as well. All right, let's talk real quick about student loans. Hey, I've been very vocal about my thoughts on the most predatory loans ever perpetuated on young adults. These are, of course, student loans. I have said over and over that student loans that student loans target people who think their life is ruined if they don't sign up for them. They actually think they will live a life of shame and failure if they don't go to college to better their education and, of course, get a good job. Here's an interesting statistic from a poll taken amongst people with student debt. The survey found that 54% of all federal student loan borrowers said that taking on that debt was not worth it. Many millennials and Gen Xers are far more skeptical. Some 63% of respondents aged 35 to 44 said, considering their current situation, it was not worth it to take out federal student loans. A typical bachelor's degree holder earns a median of $2.8 million during their career. Wow, that's all they earn? That scares me. 75% more than the people who only had a high school diploma. Well, I don't believe that either. Anyway, the resident liar told the public he would forgive student loan debt and instead is too busy thinking about changing his poopy pants. The student loan debt problem is in excess of $6 trillion, and it will continue as the United States continues to indoctrinate children into the belief that they must go to college with a ridiculous loan to get a better life. Well, according to most people with ridiculous amount of student debt bill, they can't even buy a house because of the student loans. Hey, if you want to go to a real place that will teach you how to make real money and not get ridiculous student loan debt, listen to this next commercial.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you for listening on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn about how to make more money. By the way, I know when you guys share and when you don't share. And I know that there's a couple of people that share all the time and a couple of people who say they're going to share and they don't share. So let's go, James and Michael and Jeff and Tom and Mick. Share that with your friends. Let everybody know that you're watching this great show. And of course, you can leave comments on all the social media stations such as Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. And hey, I want to thank you so much for leaving those comments right now. I find it funny that Jeff says, he said Big Johnson. I just find that really funny. That was great. All right. And some of the comments are hysterical, so if you guys want to read through them, that'd be great. All right. So far we've been discussing the futures update. Right now, the Dow is down 42 points. The S&P is down only 4, and the NASDAQ is starting to move up. It's 24, so that's not bad. We talked about the Russia-Ukraine war update, and basically, it's not really going to happen. It's not that big of a deal, right? We talked about the Big Johnson and how he was a Big Johnson and how the Big Johnson is now in trouble. We talked about student loans and how people are getting wrapped up in these student loans, and it's terrible. All right, coming up, we're going to be discussing this new game called Wordle. By the way, has anybody played Wordle? Tell me about if you played Wordle or not. I just want to know. Wordle, I'm sorry, thank you, Wordle. I can't believe I said Wordle. I actually thought it was Wordle and I said Wordle, but it's Wordle, right? We also talked about, we'll also be talking about Boeing and ticket prices. So if you played Wordle, let me know. All right, and of course today's picks and plays, but first, did you hit that like button? Did you hit that share button yet? Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And if you're listening to WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home and let me know what you think of the show. All right, let's talk about it. Uh-oh, somebody says Wordle is addicting. Let's talk about it. Well, have you heard of it? I never heard of it. Apparently, it's an online game that's taken off. For those, for those like me who have no idea what it is, let me try to explain it. It's a word game that's sort of like a crossword puzzle without the crosswords. You have some letters in boxes, and you have to guess the other letters to form words. The boxes change color as you get close. I don't know. It kind of sounds like the game for boomers or older, if you ask me. Well, I guess it's become so popular, believe it or not, that the New York Times just bought the game. They actually paid in the low 7 figures for the game. Why did they do this? Honestly, my opinion is because they're pretty stupid. Another reason the New York Times has probably been buying it is because they've been failing more and more each year to get subscribers as they continue to spew the lefty views. Well, I got to tell you, the inventor of Wordle, he's going to get his last laugh when the Wordle craze dies down. I bet he won't even use any of the money to get a subscription to the rag paper either. Look it up. It's Wordle. W-O-R-D-L-E. Check it out. Let me think what you say. A couple of people are saying it's addicting. A couple of people are saying they're watching it. That's pretty interesting. All right. Let's talk about Boeing and what happened yesterday. So it happens to be that Boeing happens to be one of my favorite stocks, but it was a wild ride in 2021. It was scary. This stock baffled me so many times that it left me shaking my head. Well, yesterday they announced that Qatar Airways just signed to buy $24 billion worth of planes from Boeing. Originally, Qatar had placed the order, or at least preliminary to place the order, with the competitor Airbus. I do remember that article a few months ago. These planes are for cargo, and Boeing is betting that cargo planes will play a big part in the upcoming economy to avoid what we've seen before, which was shipping delays in the Pacific Ocean. Boeing's stock popped on the news and was actually up 10 points yesterday. I'm still waiting for the new range before I get in, but man, that would have been a great stock option play if it would have happened. That would have been awesome. Let's talk about ticket prices. Hey, if you've gone to a show, a ball game, or other event lately, you may have noticed a steep increase in the price of tickets for that event. We have seen gas prices, automobile prices, house prices, and everything else rise in the Biden economy, and now, of course, ticket prices. I don't know, if sports are your thing, NBA and NHL tickets cost about $94 a seat on average, while the average ticket for an NFL matchup, not including playoff games, costs even more, roughly $151. Now, I don't know what the prices were pre-scamdemic, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go back pretty far. I remember going to a ball game as a young child, and the ticket price was about $7. Okay, I guess I dated myself, but even when I had a consulting business and I took special clients out to special events like the World Series back in the late 1990s, I paid $2,000 for 4 World Series tickets from a scalper. So ticket prices are certainly rising. You know, Disney World, of course, they also mentioned that they're going to be raising their ticket price, and many of the other recreational parks. I don't know. Hey, liberals, I just want to make sure that you're enjoying your $15 an hour, and I want to know how that's working out for you. Hey, if you really want to know how to afford everything you want and ticket prices, you want to be able to listen to this next commercial, and you want to go to investor schooling. The commercial's coming up. Listen to it now.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from 2 Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. All right, so far we've been discussing the futures update, and right now the Dow is only down 41, the S&P is down 4.25, and the NASDAQ is hovering right about 23. We talked about the Russia-Ukraine war, and I don't know, we'll see what happens. We talked about the Big Johnson being a Big Johnson, and he got caught. I guess he got caught with his pants down. Can we say that? Sure, why not? We also talked about student loans and how they're a big ripoff. We talked about Wordle, the new game. We talked about Boeing, and we talked about ticket prices. Coming up, we got today's picks and plays. But first, did you hit that like button yet? Did you hit that share button yet? Let everyone know what great stocks are coming up by sharing this information. You could share it on your page or in groups. So if you know some groups that you feel will benefit from these great stock plays, please share it in groups. All right. You can also leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and LinkedIn. And of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the stock market and how to make some money. All right, so it looks like the market in the last 2 days is looking really, really good. Friday, we closed over 450 points, and yesterday we closed up over 400 points as well. And I got to tell you, we had some scary moments in January. Man, that was scary. The market may take a breather today as money managers try to decide which way the market will go. Look, no one wants to get stuck in a play that will lose them money. Some of the top plays yesterday included, believe it or not, Netflix, which was up almost 43 points. I don't know, some of these stocks baffle me, and this is certainly one of them. The energy stocks continue to rock, and as I discussed in the beginning of the show, the reason is probably because of the Ukraine-Russia problem or issue, whatever. I would look to pull back on these stocks soon as the event happens and quickly ends. The Dow Futures were a bit rocky last night. I actually saw them go down about 200 points, but now they're resting at a nice place. Maybe I'll get lucky and my American Airlines will play up and go over 2 points shortly. I certainly need it. I got to tell you, I am so over-leveraged in this play, and I still think it's a great play, and believe it or not, I still think it's a good buy. I continue to like the airline stocks, the leisure stocks, and the cruise stocks, and these are some of the few that, remember, they have not reached their pre-scamdemic levels. Retail also seems to be making a surprise, and Macy's is showing itself to be a great play. I can't imagine that one either. The company is profitable again and has a decent dividend of 2.5%. Spotify rocked on the news that all the old has-been rock stars are boycotting it, and Joe Rogan is once again winning. And I love it when stuff like that happens. Hey, Neil, keep on rocking in the commie world. Yeah, we'll see how that works out for you. All right, let's talk a little bit about crypto and what's going on there. Crypto is inching up a bit as Bitcoin is now above 38,000. Ethereum is now at 2750, and some of the smaller coins are actually moving up slowly. I got to tell you, the crypto world is weird, but I'd bet the metaverse, as the metaverse continues, smaller crypto coins will be launched into it, and it'll start making some money. All right, gold and silver. Gold is still sitting at about 1,800, and silver is below 23 again. I got to tell you, it's a slow investment, but I think it's going to be an important one in a few years. Palladium actually started moving up and is now almost 2,400. So palladium, I don't know if you guys know, palladium is used in the catalytic converters in cars. So it's actually an interesting metal. People actually steal catalytic converters just to get the palladium out of it. I don't know. Some people are weird. Anyway, the 10-day Treasury bond is back at 1.75, and I think it'll move lower before it moves back into this range permanently. It is still a good time to refinance your properties. Yesterday, I took advantage of it, and I closed at 3.5% on a new property. Not a new property, but an old property. Hey, before we finish for the day, my new book is here, Money Hacks. Make sure you order it. Go to barnesandnoble.com, look up Larry Steinhouse, and order the new book, Money Hacks. I'm telling you, it's a great book. I want to thank all your listeners on WWDB in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support. And, of course, I want to thank all you guys for watching online. My name is Larry Steinhouse, and I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I am also the CEO of Investor Schooling. From time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show, and the opinions discussed on this show are solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. Hey, I want you guys to have an awesome day and make it a profitable day.